Hey y'all, welcome back to Bourbon on the Brain. Today we're taking a look at the Garrison Brothers small batch. This is their boot flask bottle, so it's a much smaller bottle than they regularly have. If you regularly follow my Instagram, Bourbon on the Brain, then you probably saw me post a picture of this while I was out riding on a horse. Garrison Brothers has their famous Cowboy Bourbon, which is a yearly limited release that they have. It's a much higher quality bourbon, aged longer, barrel finished. I just thought it would be kind of a fun, idea to take it with me out on the trail. And my friend and I opened it up when we were out there and had a couple of pulls from it. And it was really quite enjoyable. This to me really reminds me of what bourbon should be. It's smooth, yet it's powerful. It packs a punch, but it's enjoyable to drink. It doesn't make you recoil, but it certainly makes you go, oof. So to me, that's what bourbon really should be about. So I'm going to read to you, as I do, the tasting notes the Garrison Brothers has on their website, and then we'll go from there. So they say for their 2022 small batch, subtle notes of golden, delicious apple meat and honey, sweet floral verbena, fresh cut grass, saddle leather, cinnamon, and honey. Springtime flavors of honeysuckle and orange candy, yellow pound cake, baking spice, lemon gumdrop, and sugar cookies. Long and engrossing finish, complex, Smoky County Fair caramel apple sprinkled with walnuts and cinnamon. Holy wow. That's a lot. Nobody is ever going to be able to pull all of that out of a bourbon unless you are a master taster, and in that case, kudos, you have done your job incredibly well. Let's see what we get. I do get oak and caramel, maybe a hint of apple in there also. I'm not sure I would have been able to identify it unless it was there, but I do smell it now. There's definitely a sense of like a fruity kind of bitterness to it. It's enjoyable. Now, that's really interesting. So when I was out riding and I was drinking this, I did not get apple. I wasn't really focused on the tasting notes and like thinking about like the individual flavors that were mixed in while I was out riding. But in the back of my head, I recognize that apple flavor and can put it back to when I was riding. And now I'm able to recognize that as what it was. And so it definitely, you do get a lot of apple. And actually, I think it's really interesting. They describe it as apple meat. And I think that's a really apropos way of putting it. You do get that sort of meatiness of the apple in there when you taste it. So yeah, I really enjoy this. It's a powerful bourbon, don't get me wrong. It's not going to be for everybody. As I'm still sitting here and talking, I can still feel it sitting in the top of my chest, which for me, I enjoy. I enjoy a powerful bourbon. It's not for everybody, but this is a real bourbon drinker's bourbon. To me, this signifies everything that's right with bourbon and what it means to a community. And I continue to think Garrison Brothers puts out a good product. I have their honey barrel bourbon, or their honeydew bourbon, excuse me, which I thoroughly enjoy. And I can't wait to get my hands on some of their other bottles. And to me, they do it right. You know, they're a Texas-based distillery. Their founder does tours all the time at local liquor stores. In fact, he was at a store near me that I wanted to go to. And I think they do it right. They do a really good job and have a high quality product. And even their small batch, which this bottle, for those that don't know, was like 25 bucks at my local liquor store. A really good deal. Most small batches tend to be in the ballpark of $50, $75. Their full-size bottle, you're looking at about $50, $55, but to be able to have just like a flask size that you can get your hands on for cheap, if you don't want to spend the money and you just want to try it, this is a really good option. And for me, I really enjoy a high quality bottle design. So this does look like a flask. So you have sort of that concave shape, which is a general flask style. It's small, but it's not too small. It's glass still, so you do have to be a little bit careful with it. But you have the Garrison Brothers logo and the kind of embossed, jutted out, texturized star on the front. Just a high quality bottle. And I really enjoy that out of a bottle. It shows that there's a lot of care that puts into it. And honestly, for me, a good wax pull, who doesn't love a good wax pull? I don't know if they're hand dipped or not. I don't want to speculate as to whether they are or not, but either way, a good wax pull always means to me that there is some care and thought put into it. So go ahead and give it a try. Strongly recommend. As always, enjoy and drink safely, and we'll see you next time.